racing car.
Usually I complain about that, but in this thing, it's just, the noise is so good that you just want to hear more of it. I love that it hits the rev limiter.
Oh, man. There's nothing like the sound of a naturally aspirated V10 at full cry. Especially this one. For the enthusiast, it's like pure crack to the addict. A noise that has a hypnotising effect on both the driver and those spectators lucky enough to catch a glimpse of it.
But this is different. No other car sounds like it, not even today. Because it's hand-built, it's Japanese. This is what a Formula One car used to sound like. Well, before turbos killed it.
And guess what? It's a Lexus. But not a luxury Lexus, it's an LFA.
Man, this really is a proper supercar.
Yeah, it's just so unique. I've never seen one of these on the road.
I've never seen one of these on the road, ever.
And to get it on track here today, well, you know, this is, even for us, this is a super special experience.
Yeah, I gotta say, you know, we've both driven a lot of supercars before. It blows your mind. This thing's powered by a 4.8 litre naturally aspirated V10, which Yamaha had built for Lexus. And the noise that this thing makes, just let me get around this corner and onto a bit of a straight so you can have a listen, because it absolutely blows your mind. The throttle response from this, oh, I can't hear. They just don't build cars like this anymore.
Yeah, and get this, that engine can rev from 0 idle to 9,000 RPM in 0.6 of a second, which is the reason why you've got a digital tacho there, because the analog stuff couldn't keep up.
How well does this thing go around corners? The chassis balance is absolutely insane. This is a big car, but yet it just grips. It just keeps gripping, both front and rear.
Yeah, well, get this, it's so rare they only ever built 500 of these.
Only 10 of these came to Australia, and new they were $750,000. But this particular car, which is actually owned by Lexus Australia, is valued at over $1 million, man. But you know what? The whole point of building this car was for Lexus to show its European rivals that it can do something like this, and it could do a pretty damn good job of it.
Well, I pretty much think that they absolutely nailed it.
They did, even if it did take them 10 years to do it.
The only reason they took 10 years to build this thing is because 5 years into the build process, they were 100% committed to aluminium, worked out it was going to be too heavy and not stiff enough, and then switched to carbon fibre.
That's right. I mean, this whole thing is about 65%. It's everywhere. It's on the door, it's on the steering wheel. I mean, even the bloody start button is carbon fibre.
Yeah, get this. Even the bonnet stay is carbon fibre because struts would have been too heavy. And the best part, they did it themselves by building an in-house custom loom, a giant loom, to make the weave whenever they wanted the stuff. That's passion.
It is passion, and you know what? Hearing all this, it really does make sense now.
What?
Why this thing costs so bloody much?
Yeah.
I wouldn't exactly call it beautiful. Some might, but it is a work of art regardless, and it puts function well ahead of form. All those intakes, scoops and sharp lines are there for good reason, to reduce drag and provide downforce and enough cooling. My favorite part though is definitely the rear. I just can't get enough of that 3-pronged exhaust outlet. It is mental, especially when you consider the scream that comes out of it.
Now, Tony, I reckon when this thing first came out all those years ago, the bosses of Lexus must have thought, man, this is gonna start a whole revolution for their sports car program.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming though.
It has been a long time coming, but that's the Japanese way, that's the Japanese tradition. They wait and wait and wait till it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, so in between building the LFA and a few full-strength F-Series cars, they finally built their everyday sports car. And there it is. Lexus has a new flagship, and again, it's unlike any Lexus that's come before it, as you can see. It's called the LC500, and it's the closest thing to the LFA they've ever built. You know the LFA cost $750 grand when it first came out, but this LC500 is about a quarter of that at 190 grand, and it may end up the most attention-grabbing car of the year. Best thing is, it goes as good as it looks, because under there is a naturally aspirated 5-litre V8.
As I love that engine though, I gotta say, sitting inside this cabin, I'm blown away by the attention to detail and the craftsmanship. I mean, it feels like Lexus have thrown everything they've learned for the last God knows how long at this car. It is just beautiful in here.
I'll tell you why, because up to 4,000 people worked on this car at any one time. And to get this level of detail, they spent months and months on the steering wheel alone. They changed the diameter in the middle, used 3 types of leather just to get that tactility right. Magnesium paddle shifters, everything's been crafted.
But I do want to know which one of those 4,000 people worked on the infotainment system.
Yeah.
It's rubbish and it drives me insane. But I gotta tell you, man, when I first saw this thing at a motor show, I looked at it as a concept and I went, you know what, it's all well and good, but there is no way they're gonna make that go into production looking anything like that. But I am literally sitting in that car today. This is the most futuristic looking car on sale in Australia today. It looks amazing.
Yeah, that's the holy grail of design, isn't it? To get from concept to production vehicle without changing virtually anything. But that also presents a major challenge for designers and engineers, and major headaches and stuff like how to keep a low roof but still maintain a comfortable cabin, how to fit 21-inch wheels and still keep a low bonnet, and that short front overhang. Well, that's only possible because the designers came up with one of the world's slimmest headlight assemblies, stuff like that.
Yeah, it is amazing, and they managed to do all that because this is an entirely new platform. It doesn't share anything with any Lexus or Toyota for that matter of any kind, even the LFA. This is an all-new car, but it does weigh 1,935 kilos, and that is really heavy, man. This is a poor car.
I really struggle with that, giving the carbon fiber, the aluminium, the magnesium paddles. But you know what? It still handles like a dream on track, and surely that's testament to what these guys have created.
It is amazing that a car that weighs nearly 2 tons can still go around corners as good as it does. And I guess they must have benchmarked some really serious cars to make that happen.
Well, they did. The best, the Porsche 911 and even the LFA. And you can really feel that from behind the wheel. This is a beautifully balanced bit of kit, and I love driving it.
I don't usually say this about cars that cost 200 grand or are, made by Lexus, but not only is this thing ridiculously good value for money, but I actually think, and for me this is the first, this is the best car in its class. A Lexus is now beating the Germans in this category, and that's saying something.
Yeah, this is a proper driver's car. It really is. This is a proper driver's car that looks the bomb, feels the bomb, the craftsmanship. It's a whole package. The LC500 won't be a collectible like the LFA, but it is special. It's the level of detail all over the car that you just have to respect. But more than that, it's another great driver's car that, unlike the LFA, you can use every day. As far as I'm concerned, it's a real triumph.